Okay, so first off, I'd like you to start by telling your full name and where and when you were born.
My name is Leona Howard, and I was born in the state of Mississippi and Florida County.
And what was that like? What was the area like where you were born?
It, well, like here you would call it in the suburbs, but it was 5 miles from any little town.
And what did your parents do there?
They were farmers.
So what was it like growing up?
It was a lot of fun. And in the spring, they would cultivate their land, and they would make garden, and they would raise cotton and corn and sugar cane, and she had turkeys, geese, ducks, and chickens. And they had cows that you milked, and you would take the milk in the house and skim it, run it through a strainer, and you would put it up, then it would clabber, and you would churn it, and it would make butter.
So you made your own butter.
Yeah.
Did you have to work a lot on the?
It just seasonally work. Women mostly work, I'll say about 3 or 4 months out of a year. But in the spring, the men cultivated their land. They had to turn it over and get it in working position.
So what were your jobs as a kid?
Well, I went to school, would wash dishes, and just different little things in the house.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
I have 3 sisters and 1 brother. It
So,
was 5 of us.
and what type of school did you go to?
I went to elementary school in the rural, and then I went to school in Greenwood, Mississippi. That was the next largest little town where they had better schools.
What was your elementary school like?
It was nice. I enjoyed it.
Was
And
it
you
like
would- you
8th
would-
grade?
You would have to walk to school. And it was a nice little walk.
Were the roads paved out there?
No.
And
In some places they had gravel road, and a lot of places they just had dirt roads.
was it an all black area where you lived?
It was mixed slightly.
And everybody was pretty much farmers right around there?
Yeah.
Was there a town, like a downtown or a town?
Yeah, no, I was 5 miles from any town. I was 5 miles from Kruger, and I was 5 miles from Sidon, and about 13 miles from Greenwood.
So would you grow all your own food, or did you have to go to town and buy some stuff?
Mostly you growed everything except flour and sugar. But everything else, mostly you had it.
Did your mother make your clothes and stuff?
What?
How about your clothes? Did your mother make your clothes for you?
She sewed very well.
So then you went to high school in
In
Greenwood.
Greenwood,
And did you stay in Greenwood?
No,
Or you
I still
traveled?
would go. I had a sister live there, and we lived with her when we was going to school.
So you stayed in Greenwood? During that
And
time.
then when school was out in June, we'd go back home.
And what was that
School
school?
started in September, but all the time you didn't get to start exactly in September because you would be doing some work. But round about October, you would be in school.
Because you were working on the farm.
Yeah.
And then, so your father, then he would sell most of the stuff that he.
Yeah, they would sell the cotton, but all the rest of us, they made sugar cane, and people that didn't have syrup, they would sell them syrup as much as they could afford to get rid of. And like your sweet potatoes, you killed your own sweet potatoes. And like your lima beans and butter beans and peas like that. You put all that up by the winter months.
Uh-huh. Canning it in jars?
Yeah, and either you would let them get dry and thrash them out.
How do you do that?
You know, just like you see dried beans and things in the store.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you do it.
Uh-huh. Just put it out to dry.
They can dry right out there on the stove.
But don't
And
you have to like...
then you pick them off and you shell them and you got the dried peas.
Mm-hmm.
And they do peanuts. Now peanuts, you just pull them up and throw them up on the shed.
Uh-huh.
So that's about it.
Uh-huh. Were there hired hands that worked on the farm or just the
Oh
family?
yeah, there's plenty of people that do it work.
Uh-huh. And your father, did he own the land?
No, he didn't own this land.
So he had to pay rent for
Yeah.
that. Did you move at all when you were, other than, you moved to high school, to go to high school?
Didn't move, you just stayed
Well,
in your suitcase.
Right.
Go
You commuted.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so, then when did you finish high school?
I didn't finish high school.
Okay, so how long?
I did 2 years.
And then what happened?
Then I was out.
Did you go, you went back home to the farm?
Uh-huh.
So what?
I was already at home, I would just come over for school.
Right, right. So what did you do after that?
After then, I got married after then.
How old when you got married?
I was 16.
And who was your husband?
He was named Charlie Rucker, but it wasn't a good marriage. I stayed married about 3 months.
Oh, that's all.
That's, well, if you find out you done made a mistake, it's no use to keep on trying. So after then, I divorced him, and I remarried, and my second husband passed. And then the third one passed, so it ain't no more.
How long were you married? How long were you married the other times?
Oh, goodbye, because I'm very grown up now.
And what about children?
No children.
No children. So you were living, when you got married, where did you live?
I was living in Greenwood, Mississippi.
And what did your husbands do for a living there?
Well, they had compresses and cotton gins. It was a small town, and you see they worked at just like where they bale cotton up. He would work there.
And did you work?
No, I would work sometimes. I used to work in people's home, and it was fair, but they just wasn't paying anything for work then.
And about when was this? About what year?
It's been a long, long time.
Well, was that in the 30s, in the 40s, in the 30s,
It was
in the
it
20s?
It was when I left from down south. It was in 41,
Okay.
and that's been a long time ago.
So where did you go?
I come to Chicago.
And where did you live then when you came?
I lived on the south side.
What part of the south side?
I lived on State Street, Central. 35th Street.
And what was the south side like at that time?
I liked the south side, but after my husband got sick, I had to move where he could walk on the ground, where he could come out the apartment and walk out like out in the yard. And I moved here to 940, and my back door opened and he could walk out in the yard. And I stayed, I was there a long time in that basement.
And you were working in people's homes during this
Yeah.
time? What were the people like that you worked for?
Fair. Only you didn't do as much work. It was different in the work in the southern states than than here.
Okay, tell me about that.
Cause you would go and you would clean up, and you would fix lunch, and you would go home back about 2:30 and fix dinner. Or even sometime you would just work on through from, I'll say, from about 8 o'clock until about 1:30, and you'd be through for the day.
Mhm. Okay, so then, and then how was it different when you came to Chicago?
Because they were working 8 hours at one place, and a short hours is much different.
Mhm.
Of course, now when I first come to Chicago, you wasn't making very much on salary.
Mhm.
I can remember right in Chicago when they didn't pay that much for housework.
Uh-huh. So how much were you getting paid?
They were about $6 or $7.
For a week, a whole week?
No,
A day?
for a day.
A day. And then,
Because I can remember when I started work for your grandmother, she was paying me $6. And I went over to do a day for her girlfriend. You always heard them talk about the one that stayed on, slept in the bed with them. I'm sure you should.
you've talked about that, yeah.
You can remember. And I don't know, for some reason, I didn't ask her what she was paying me when I went there. That's something I always would do before I undress, find out what she was paying. So about 12 o'clock, I asked her, I said, what did you pay? And she said, Leona, I paid $5. I said, I should get undressed right now and go home. I said, because I had the understanding that you was paying $6. And she said, well, instead of going home, I'll just go ahead and pay that to you. She said, but I never paid that much. And then it just started to going up and up.
Mhm.
And now for about 6 hours or 6.5 hours, you make $50.
That's not
And
bad.
having it come from a long ways.
Mhm. And how would you, where were your jobs located as to where you were living?
When I was living on the south side,
Mhm.
right up here at 6143 St. Louis.
How did you travel? I'm trying to get an idea of how far it was, how long did it take to get to work?
I would take the Ravenwood train
Mhm.
and go all the way to the end of the line, and then I would take a bus on up there to the house. Now, this was before you were born.
Yeah, right, when my grandparents.
Renee was a small girl.
And how many days a week would you work?
I went to her 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Fridays.
Uh-huh. And then you had other people on
Uh-huh.
the other days.
And I worked for your grandma 25 years straight. And then I stopped and went away and went back to work for her, and I worked with her then until she passed.
Was there a reason that you stopped working for her?
Yeah, we couldn't understand each other.
Can you tell me about that?
It wasn't that much, but see, I have arthritis and I couldn't play in water.
Oh.
Definitely. See, now I still have arthritis and I can't play in water because water makes the joints stiff. So after I quit work for her, she really saw I wasn't going to play in water. So she was glad for me to come back.
Uh-huh. And do other kind of work. What kind of work did you do, and what kind of things did you do in the houses?
It's mostly just like at home. And when you get used to a person, you do whatever you see that needs to be did.
Floors and laundry and
She's always sent her big laundry out. We just did the personal things at home, like your panties and your bras.
So you didn't have to wash a lot of big sheets and stuff.
No, that went out.
Tell me something about when you were in Mississippi on the farm. How did your mother do laundry?
They had a board, and you used the scrub board before you had washing machines.
Did you have hot water? Did you have tap
Yeah,
water?
you have to.
running water
No,
in your
you had to
house?
make far around the big old pot, and you would put your water in there and let it get hot.
Was this a fire on the stove?
Yeah.
You mean?
Far
Or
around
outside?
the pot. Ain't you never saw a big pot like
So was this outside?
Yeah,
You
it
did
was
it outside.
outside.
I know what you're talking about, but I want you to describe it as
Yeah.
much as you can for somebody who, as though they never saw it before in their life.
Yeah, and a lot of people used to make their own soap out in the country.
Well, how do you make soap?
They would buy lye and use that, like old grease, and they would put this lye in it and cook it, and then it would become what they call lye soap.
And that was used for laundry?
Yeah, but it was very strong.
Did you have running water in your house or a
No,
pump? A pump?
didn't have no running water, had a pump. Where you saw a pump then?
In a history book?
Oh,
In the country, I guess.
oh,
But that's why I'm trying to, get you to describe as many of these
Yeah.
things that, because nowadays we just take it for granted. You want water, you just go to the sink and turn it on.
no, I was listening at a preacher at church. I said that man should have been whipped with a stick. He said that with the outer house, you know what you call the toilet, they had built houses for that, and then they would dig a deep hole for the fall in the ground. And he said when it would get so full, they'd get a stick and stir it up. You would smell it for miles. But they didn't do that. They put lime in that toilet to keep that filled up. But I guess he was just trying to break it down to people, but he got a little too far out of line.
So if you had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, you had to go outside.
Yes, ma'am, you had to go. You would hope you wouldn't have to go in the middle of the night. Oh, dear.
So
My
what was...
mother used to have some of the beautifulest garden. She used to grow her own. She'd have beds of strawberries. And anything that you use in the kitchen, she growed it in her garden. And food ate different then than what it do now.
How was it different?
Huh?
How was
A
it
lot of
different?
frozen hothouse food is good as if it was grown in the soil. Because you can tell by your tomatoes out in the yard, they are more firm to eat. Hothouse tomatoes sometimes is just like lean meat.
Yeah, they get that.
There's something about them ain't right.
They don't have
Because
the
when they
flavor.
put the fruit stand out, I love to stop at a stand and buy tomatoes. Because you're getting tomatoes that's growing and not hothouse tomatoes.
What was it like to move from the country to like a big city like Chicago?
Well, it take you for a while to get used to it because everything was different. The lights was different and everything else.
How was the light? What kind of lights did you have?
Well, you
Back
just
in-
had ordinary lights. But they have improved it now out through the country. They have running water in the house. And
Did
they-
you have electricity in your house?
Not at that time, it wasn't any electricity.
What did you use to light your house?
Use a lamp. And we had a big swinging lamp up in the top of the house.
Did that burn oil, kerosene?
Kerosene.
So when you came to Chicago, was that the first time you had electricity, or?
No, after I left the country and come to Greenwood, you had running water and electric.
And a toilet in the house.
Yeah, it's different to use a toilet where you can sit down than to use a toilet. Don't care how careful you is with a toilet, and more than one person use it, gets an odor, and just every so often that odor comes out.
So, how big was your apartment in Chicago? How big was the apartment in Chicago?
Oh, I have had 4 and 5 rooms.
Was the rent a lot more
And
expensive?
no, rent used to be real cheap, but rent is ridiculous now.
That's true.
Rent is something else. They'll
So-
ask you $200 and $300 for 2 rooms. Rent used to be high here. You could get a 4-room apartment for $18 and $20 like that. But they don't have that anymore. Nothing at all.
What did your husband do in Chicago?
He operated a crane.
A crane?
Uh-huh.
Was that buildings or?
No,
But you raised some children.
Yeah, raised 3 different sets.
Okay, can you tell me about that?
Well, the first 2 was a boy and a girl, and they are doing very well. The girl is in business for herself, and her brother, he do gardener work. And the next little girl that I raised, she do bookkeeping, but she's married now and she's not working. And she adopted her 2 children.
How did you come to raise these children? How did you get these children?
The first 2 was my sister's kids, and she remarried again. So I taken the children, and like that, when she had more children, they was just there with her and they father. And the other 2, I had them.
And the others?
No, she raised the others up until she passed.
Right.
When she passed in 62, I had to take them.
So you had 4 children, they were all your sister's children?
And then one of my nephews passed, and I taken his children. That was Roy and his sisters.
That was three girls and a boy? So how many kids have you raised altogether?
2, 3, and I had to take 2 more. And this last bunch was 4. I'm not taking any more. That's an awful lot of work, but I didn't want them to go to a foster home.
So they could stay with family?
Yeah, so they'll know each other.
Well, that's terrific.
But it's a job. When you get through washing for children, it's a big job. And cooking for them. And you got to see that everybody got something decent to wear when they go out.
Now, were you already living in this area at
No,
that time?
I was in the basement. When my sister passed in 62, and I had to take her teenage boys, I was in the basement with 4 rooms. And then my nephew, when I had to take his 4 children, I was still in the basement, in the 4 rooms. So it was getting kind of crowded.
Is that when you moved to this apartment?
Yeah, moved up where I had more bedroom space.
How many bedrooms are upstairs there?
3.
3. And now, where are we right now?
Yeah, this is living room and the kitchen.
No, I mean, what neighborhood? How's the
They
neighborhood?
calls it near north now, but the name used to be for it Capri Green. But since they are building up so, they're saying near north.
How has Cabrini Green changed over the years? Were these the tall buildings built already?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they built them since I moved over here.
Okay, I would like to describe
But
where we are now. Describe these
The row
buildings.
houses was here when I moved over here.
And these are 2-story row houses.
Ain't no 2-story row
Well,
house.
these are 2 floors, right?
Well, this just one apartment.
Right.
It's just built but to come up into the living room and you walk upstairs to the bedroom.
Okay, and they were building the tall buildings at that time?
They built the tall buildings about, I believe the people started moving in them in 63.
Do you remember what was there before they built the tall buildings? Were there other houses there, or?
No, I sure don't, Michelle.
And what was it like when they first opened up the big project?
It was real nice over here, but it's real rough sometime over here.
Yeah. Have you had some experiences around
Well,
here?
I haven't had any trouble with anybody since I've been living over here. But I have saw plenty of people have trouble.
What kind of problems do people have?
With gangs fighting and going on. But you have to kind of stay away from that company. Say good morning and good afternoon and keep going. But really, I have been living over here ever since 61, and I had no trouble with nobody.
sixties and the whole civil rights movement. Were you involved with any of that?
I was over here when Martin Luther King got killed. And to my eye, they was acting real silly then. They was just tearing up cleaners where they know what nobody's clothes in there but they pieces, they clothes. And it was a drugstore right up there. He never did come back no more. And it was a cleaners right there on Oak Street. It never come back no more. That was the end of it.
Do you notice a change in how, how your relationships with white people have changed from before then and now over the years?
They all about the same. Cause don't any white live in this area unless, I would say they're very, very poor. But it's building up. They building up a lot of nice stores and fixing restaurants all down Chicago. And they all on Well Street. And don't nobody bother you. But sometime I walk down the Clark Street to the drugstore and I come all the way down to Oak Street by where Henroden Hospital used to be. Now all that's closed up. And they got a senior citizen building over in there. So it's improving and decreasing too. Not because all those buildings used to look real nice, and now they all are just about empty.
Yeah, they're like half empty.
Have you looked up at?
Oh yeah, I drive by here all the time. You can see, at night you can see,
Yeah.
because you can see the whole floors are empty and they're dark. And then you can see the
It's a
bottom floors.
whole lot of empties. I believe in the next 2 years won't any of this be over here.
You think it's
I
gonna, you think they're
believe-
gonna tear it down, or what do you think they'll do?
I'm pretty sure they ain't gonna leave them up there like that, baby. Do you think so? They blowed them down in St. Louis, and I believe they're gonna do the same thing over here.
I agree. I think that's what's gonna happen. The real.
Because I wouldn't wanna be in the building where all them empty apartments is.
Do you have friends over there that you go visit over there?
Yeah, and I just have to have them over there. I can't go over there because it's too dangerous. And all that. But now they has started putting security in the building. But look like they waited so late to put it in there.
Yeah. Well, I think this particular project, it's too close to the to the near north
They want it.
area.
And you should sometime just ride over on 43rd and Lake Park. All of those apartments are just about completely empty over there.
Isn't that where they're supposed to fix the buildings up, and they kicked everyone out? I think
But they
that's
ain't fixed it up yet.
in Tim Evans' ward. Yeah, I think
I
that's
don't know
that
who
area.
is the precinct over
Yeah.
there.
I think that's where that is. I worked in the school over here.
At Jim?
Bird
You
School.
was at Bird. How long you worked there?
Oh, just when I was in high school, for one semester of high
Yeah.
school, they had a little TV studio there.
Yeah.
And that's when I was first learning about, video cameras and TV
Yeah.
and stuff. So I was in that school. They didn't tell me where it was when I signed up. They didn't tell me. They said,
They didn't
whatever
call
the
it
address
Jim North End, they call it Caprini.
Oh, that is in the middle of Cabrini Green. There's no denying it. And the first day, 2 of the teachers came. It was only me and one other girl. It wasn't a whole class. And 2 of the teachers brought us over and said, well, this is where it is. And the other girl didn't come back after a
Well, she
while.
wouldn't come back.
She came a few times. And I don't know, maybe she had her own reasons, for not coming back. But I stayed the whole semester.
You stayed the whole
I used to ride the
semester.
bus and wait for the bus right here. And if my father knew where I was, he would.
You will turn over in his grave.
But that was back when I was in high school. But anyway, enough about me.
Didn't nobody bother you either, did they?
No, I never in other areas more than over there. But also then, I dressed like a hippie and, nobody bothered me. And all I had in my pocket was my bus fare, so.
If they'd have got that, they wouldn't have had nothing. Just snatch your pants from torn.
They were already torn. Oh, boy.
Michelle, you had a lot of experience of life, haven't you?
In my short years. Yeah, I get around. But now I'm all settled down.
Well, I'm so glad you got a nice husband.
Oh, he's terrific.
That's the best of everything.
Yeah.
And seemed like he loved you.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things that we've been through together, that if we
He
didn't have
wants
each other.
you. If he hadn't wanted you, he wouldn't have went through all that.
Yeah.
No, indeed.
Especially, when my dad died, he was really supportive. He was really good.
You know, that really hurt Jeffrey.
Oh, sure. It hurt all of us.
Yes. He told me that he didn't have no idea nothing had happened. So he rode home with some of the friends coming in for the weekend.
Oh. They didn't call him in, or?
Well, when they called, he had left school on his way.
Oh, so he didn't know until he got, oh.
And he said he didn't have no idea that was his dad.
Mhm. Yeah.
I wonder why Russell won't shoot himself.
He didn't shoot himself. He drank poison. He didn't shoot himself.
He did,
No, he drank poison.
and they couldn't pump it out of him.
It was too late. I was called from work. I was at work, and they called me from work.
Well, who found it?
I guess Mom did.
And she loved him around he walked.
Oh, sure.
You don't know how much she did love him.
She still hasn't gotten over it.
But if that's the way he wanted to go, I know you're so worried about it.
Yeah. Well, the strange thing is we always thought it would be her. 'Cause
Sure enough so. Nobody thought it was going to be him.
Right. And all the times that she tried and never did it, When I was in the hospital, she was the one that I always would have thought, would have expected to.
I wonder why he wanted to do that.
I have no idea. That's the worst part. I mean, it bothers me enough to know that he did it, but, bless you. But not knowing why,
Well, I have an idea why. Russell's house was paid for, and he mortgaged for his father.
Oh, yeah.
And Jeffrey had a whole lot of money.
Jeff.
That's right. And you had nice money.
Well, we had,
But-
the money that they put away for our
Yeah.
college, he used that all for the business.
And when he sold his house, and Mr. DeMar was sick, and then he died, and he just couldn't get it together.
Yeah.
And to lose everything you got is bad.
Mhm.
Do you know it's bad to lose everything?
Yeah, I guess so. I would
It
hate
had
to
been
do
happy.
that.
It's different when you've been happy. And Russell was a good provider, because he taken all that business over
Mhm.
and everything. Your daddy, I don't believe he was quite 21 when he married her, he just ain't straight 21.
Yeah. I
And
think about 2 weeks after that.
He come right in there and took all the books over and everything. And he sat down at the desk and taking care of all the business.
Mhm.
And see, your Uncle Arnold didn't have that kind of sense.
Well, I guess Arnold was always jealous or something.
He didn't have what it take to do it, baby. If you can't qualify but to take care of business, don't care how bad you want it, you cannot do it.
Bless you. So,
And when Mr. DeMar got sick, I think Mr. DeMar lost all the money he had. She was in Florida. Well, he could have waked back up, but you can't wake up sick. And then he had taken care of all the sick right at your grandmother's house. When the grandmother was sick, she was sick right at your grandmother's house. And then your grandma Florence had been in bed here for many and a many years. And he treated her like she was a doll. And Russell, he didn't have to do it, but he gave in, and Renee didn't do nothing but ride Mr. Moore up and down the street wherever she wanted to go, and to the beauty shop, and over here, and over there. And you all was just like my children.
Mom always says you're the one that toilet trained me.
You,
I asked her, I said, Mom, how do you toilet train the baby? She says, I don't know, ask Leona. In my baby book.
and it's so cute. Mr. Moore wouldn't want me to make you all behave. And see, when you got people with children and out on the street, those children cannot worry about what grandma say don't do. You got to make those children do what you say do. You got to keep the children out in the streets. And she would say, the great grandma, y'all called her Buddy. Buddy would say, I'd spank y'all. Say I wouldn't spank Jeffrey. But Jeffrey wasn't hard-headed. Because I'd say, Michelle, don't cross that street. And you would run on out in the street, and I'd just snatch my shoe off and spank you real good with it. And Mr. Moore said, Leon, did you see yourself spanking the baby with the shoe? I said, it wouldn't have did for me to be where I could have got me a switch. And I could take y'all over in shopping center, and as you run on ahead, when you got to where we crossed the street at, you would stand right there until we get there and catch each other's hand.
I remember when you
And we would go, and if you wanted something, I would buy it for you. And we would go and shop, and I said, now it's all right to look at the things, but if we ain't gonna buy it, just leave it right where it's at. And we would shop around, and it would be so funny. Barbara would, see, she didn't want her children to behave, and I can't fool a person when they don't want children to behave, because you're grown and you're not a child. And she'd say, keep Scotty. I said, Scotty don't want to stay.
He wouldn't listen to you.
I didn't keep him, honey, because he wasn't going to be there pecking y'all on the head. I was going to peck him on his front. And she kept Scotty right on. I wasn't working for her, and I wasn't going to keep Scotty. Me and your grandmother used to go over and clean her house up. And that girl's house coat would smell like lard. You know, like where you cook and the scent of that be in your clothes. Your grandmother would lean over backwards to be nice to Barbara. Yes, indeed.
So.
When she was sick. And if Russell hadn't let Renee taking care of her all the time, I don't believe Renee would be in the shape she is today. But that girl ain't, if her mother got sick in Florida, they would call me. And I would go and stay there. And Barbara was nice. We would go out, Barbara would keep y'all, we'd go out to her house and stay. And then they would bring us back to our house, you know, where Russell had it rented in. And Mr. Weinberg and Ms. Weinberg, they were two nice people. They would say, Leona, anything you like, put it on the list.
For shopping.
That's right. And they would come and see us, and I'll say this, Ms. Weinberg, never said, Leona, don't do the children like that or nothing. She would say, well, you better mind. Don't you want to get into trouble?
This is my father's parents.
But Bubby would want to take over.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to make sure, girl, if anybody have your baby, no grown person that's got any understanding at all would run over Rosie. But if they take Rosie out there in them streets, if they tell Rosie, say, Rosie, don't cross the street, stop and wait for them. Rosie's supposed to stop
Oh, yeah,
and wait for them.
sure, I would make her mind too.
You'd have to mind, because once you get mashed by a car, it's no getting up.
So how about now all these kids that you raised, what do they do now?
All of them got pretty good little jobs. Roy looking for him a job. He just been getting piecemeal jobs. You know, like you work here a little and work over there.
How old is Ronnie?
23.
23.
So he went to where they supposed to train you for a job, but they haven't called him yet.
Yeah, that's tough.
Sometimes that ain't nothing.
I've applied for a lot of jobs and you don't hear anything.
It's just so many people without work.
Yeah. Did you ever have a hard time getting jobs, or your husband? Were they ever unemployed for a long time?
He never had no trouble, because he was on that job. He was on that job when I met him, and he was on that job when he got sick.
So you didn't?
No, he didn't have to tramp around looking for no work.
Well, that's good. That's good. How about, did you have any, experiences with discrimination?
Well, it's good and bad everywhere. Sometimes you can work in a home and they are real predators, but they try to be decent enough to, they need you, and you need the money.
Well, can you tell me, do you remember any specific incidents that happened to you? Like that?
You can tell when they are prejudiced when you work for them, Michelle. Now, that's the best way. If, I'll say like this, if you work for a family and they are really kind of prejudiced, when they go into the dining room, they'll close the dining room door for meals. When you work for a family that's an ordinary family, and that hostility isn't there, when they go into the dining room, all those doors are open. And if they need something else at the table, every so often you'll check it to see whether a dish needs filling or not. But where they are a little prejudiced, where they got that grit in the craw, you can tell them. Because I worked at a place once, I had to nurse last, and she lay in bed. And she said, she didn't speak English too good, but she was English enough. She said, I wonder why they always dancing the door. I said, they don't want me and you to hear what they're talking about. I said, they could be talking about us. She said, you think so? I said, I know so. And there was two children there, and she was so cute. The children was fighting at the table. And she said, I'm gonna call the doctor and tell him that they are fighting. I said, we ain't gonna call nothing. I got this stick, I'm gonna call it right on the piano. She said, ain't you scared? I said, no ma'am, I ain't scared. I said, but if you call that doctor on his job, he'd think you scared. So I made them behave. And then I made them sit down after making them behave. And I said, now what do you want to eat? I was fixed. Of course, I kind of fought her because with children, if you make one a hot sandwich, just make all of a hot sandwich. What difference do it make? She was talking about she had made the sandwich and the sandwich had got cold. And I said, well, just throw it in the garbage can. She said, that's wasting. I said, they got plenty of it. If you waste it, it doesn't make any difference. Give all the children a hot sandwich. And for some reason, when she brought the sandwich, and she didn't bring the little boy now hot sandwich, he took the hot sandwiches. And you know how kids is. He was squashing them up. And I said, boy, you better sit down and leave those sandwiches alone. I said, cause I'm gonna fold this chair, and I ain't gonna care where I hit you at. I wasn't gonna hit it with the chair, but I said, if I fold this chair up and start whacking you with it, you sit down.
Did he sit down?
Yeah, oh yeah, he sat down, and then I cut the table off. And I said, now y'all tell me what kind of sandwich you want. I'm gonna make everybody a sandwich, and we're all gonna sit here and eat our sandwich together. So they wanted grilled cheese, so I made grilled cheese and hamburger for them. So when we got through, I said, listen now, I'm not gonna talk about this anymore. Here. And I said, long as I work here, this better not ever have me at this table anymore. I'm gonna punch you in my fist. So what, didn't nobody tell her? So I told her about it, and she asked if had anything happened. You know, they had something up to lie. They told her, no, didn't nothing happen.
They didn't want to get in trouble. Again. Were you ever fired from a job?
Nah, I have quit a minute.
What were some of the reasons that you would quit a job?
I quit. I can't stand it. Now I work for a girl about 6.5 years. Our first misunderstanding was her little girl. Her oldest little girl was a big little liar. And she was telling me about what Jane said. And I listened. I said, listen, if you ever tell me about what Jane said anymore, I said, I'll refuse to work for you. I said, because you know Jane do not tell the truth. So that worked on. Another time, Jane fell with the TV she was taking from upstairs down in the basement, and she broke the arrow. So she told her mother that I broke the arrow. So she was telling me, she said, Leon, you know Jane said you broke the arrow on the TV. I said, Lord, please help me to make it to quitting time, because I ought to go put my funky dress on and leave here. I said, well, when I got ready to go home, I just fold my uniform up in my work shoes and put them up on top of my pocket and come on and stand. She said, Leona, can't we talk? I said, yeah, talk all you want to. She said, you shouldn't have got insulted because I said, Jane said, you broke the TV. I said, didn't I tell you the next time you said anything to me about Jane, that would be it? I said, well, I wasn't playing. So I worked on for her sister 32.5 years.
Wow. So you were pretty close, you were very close with the families that you stayed
I
with.
wasn't studying her, because I couldn't put up with her and Jane, because I didn't smack the shit out of Jane. I can't stand them trying to tell lies. And you know he's lying. You know if the road's telling the truth. Because you're around her all the time. And there's a reaction by the child. If they are not telling the truth, you will know it. Later soon, you will know somebody done sneaked out the wrong thing. So her husband always say, he said, Leon, Hitler was a good Samaritan. She wanted you to work for her sister.
That's what happened.
Say you stayed on with her and say, right, and try to get you to come back to work for her. I said, I told her if she said Hitler's name to me, I wouldn't work for her.
Wait, she what?
Her sister was named Hitler.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. And she was wanting to talk to me to go back to work for her. I said, wait a minute, let's stop right now. I said, if you call her name to me anymore, I won't work for you.
So you didn't even want to hear her name?
I didn't even want to hear her name. Because she'd love to go out in the street and wouldn't come back home. You'd be there spend an hour waiting on her to come home. You can't leave the children. So you got to wait till she get there. And that was good as I wanted.
So now you worked all day in other people's homes, and then you had to come home and take care of your own kids. Who watched the kids when you were working? Who took care of the kids when you were working?
Well, they were going to school. All of them were school age except Roy. Roy wasn't school age. But my husband was sick. My husband was sick for 20 years.
What was wrong with him?
Uh,
What was wrong?
he had heart trouble and prostate stress glands. And that's a very expensive operation.
Now, did you have insurance, or was that,
Well, with prostrate glands, you can use up all the insurance you got.
and still have?
That's right. Because he stayed in the hospital about 3 or 4 months. And my sister, you know, we all would pitch in and help out. And then one while I come home and I would just go out a couple of days a week. It's rough when you got sickness.
Yeah.
Don't let nobody tell you that it ain't. Now when we gonna get the picture?
I was just gonna say,
Well-
one last thing before we go to the pictures, and then I'll turn off, and then we'll get the pictures.
Okay.
Is there anything else, any other statement or something you'd like to tell young people, or what you've learned, something you've learned over the years, or anything like that?
After the years, I'm not thinking about it right now. Well, you know. Of course, there is nice people to work for. Now, I work for your council. I work for your mother's Pam's when she was a very small girl. A very small. She was still in grammar school. And I was there all during the time she is in high school and went to college. And she was a very sweet girl. She wasn't a bad girl. And I know when Uncle got married,
You mean my Uncle Leonard?
your,
When my uncle,
yeah, your,
when Arnold got married.
Renee got married. No, Uncle Leonard had them children.
Oh, that's right, they were like mom's age. A little younger than mom. Okay, well, let's get the pictures.
Okay. Before he done got back here with the baby. Now, do this talk all the way through the pictures?
Excuse me?
Do this talk all the way through the pictures?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
So who's,
this picture,
it was out back?
this picture was made in August 1944.
And who's in the picture?
This is my father and 2 grandchildren. Now get another picture. This picture was a picnic in Canada.
Who's in the picture?
This is myself, Rochelle, and Rose.
And did you drive up there? How did you get up there?
Yeah, we drove up there.
Okay, cool.
And this is Leona's picture and her husband.
That's you and your husband. And when was that? Shortly after you were married, or?
It don't say what year this picture is made. But I was real small then. And this is Leona and Roy.
Okay. When were you married?
In
When?
50.
1950?
Uh-huh.
Hang on a second.
Had we got this one?
Who is that again?
This is Mary, Roy, and Leona.
Okay.
This picture was made in August 1944. This is my father and 2 grandchildren.
Okay, we saw that one already.
And this is Roy and Leona in the park. This is my oldest sister.
Point to which one is her.
This is my oldest sister here.
Uh-huh.
And the middle is Roy, and the other one is Leona.
Now, where are you in this picture? No, I mean, where is it taken?
This was made at Joe's nightclub.
Did you go see music there and things like that?
Yeah, they
Entertainment?
have music there, and then they have flow shows.
What kind of music was it? What kind of entertainment did you like to see there?
It would be a band, and they would have different people coming out on the stage dancing. You done made it back.
Okay. We're going through the pictures.
Wait a minute. Oh, he wasn't gonna bring
Where's
me.
Rosie? Oh, Rosie's at your house. Okay, well, sit down and be quiet.
And this is Lucy Dillon.
And where is this picture taken?
This picture was taken in Louisiana.
Okay. You went down there to visit?
Yes.
Now, was that when you were already living in Chicago? Okay.
You got it. And this is at Club de Lisa.
And what kind of place was that?
This is a nightclub.
And what does it say? Buy war bonds? That was during the war, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it. Now, what neck bunch here?
I think here's one. These.
I don't have to have,
Oh, okay. Alright, here these are next.
we really having fun, Mike.
Oh, yeah? That's good.
I'm getting much fun out of it, is Michelle.
Well, I hope so.
And that's Leona, and in the middle is her mother, and that's Roy on the far side. And this is my two nephews.
Now, is that two that you raised?
And this is my husband's sister and brothers, two sisters and one brother.
Could you hold that a little closer? Can you reach out your arm? Okay, hold on. And now tilt it down a little bit. No, this like that. That's right. Okay. All right, that's on there. It's a little hard to see that one.
You got it? And this is my father.
Now, where is this picture?
This picture was made in Greenwood, Mississippi,
And about when was that taken?
about in the 40s.
Okay.
And I'm supposed to have all this, right?
Yeah, that's all the kids. All pictures of the kids. That's all of us.
This is myself, Michelle, and Jeffrey.
You know what? I'm gonna have to bring these a little. I'm gonna bring the camera a little closer because I'm not.
How you doing?
Let's see. That's better. Now we can see who's in the picture. Okay. That's me and
Oh,
Jeff.
it come out nicely then, didn't it?
Yeah, that's me
This
and
is
Jeff.
Leona, Michelle, and Jeffrey. I believe this when you graduated, what?
That's my bas mitzvah. Oh, well, the little ones are Dawn and Jeff.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
That's Dawn, Michelle, and Jeffrey.
Okay, hold it still. Okay, curl your fingers more. There you go. Now we can get it. Okay, that's me, Jeff, and Dawn.
You got this? That's Dr. Chappelle, Rye, the two children, Tammy, and Amber. Now this is Renee, Michelle, and Dawn. Oh, that coming out pretty, didn't it?
At Dawn's wedding.
Now this other little girl ain't.
That's my friend's child. That lives in
Now
New York.
this is Michael and Rose girlfriend. That coming out good, Michelle.
See, Mike, you're getting on here too.
And this is my pastor and the ushers.
The ushers. And is the
And,
church nearby here? Do you walk, or is it?
No,
far?
I used to could walk, but we're buying at 4255 Division. And this is Leona and Gary.
Do you have friends there?
It's out to my sister-in-law's.
Oh.
And this is Roy and his little friend.
And Roy is, how old did you say he was now?
When he had
23?
this many.
No, he's 23 now.
And this girl was learning how to make pictures. So she should be doing pretty good right now. And this is my cousin, Regina.
And what is she doing there?
She's singing. She was 23 years old and she's taking music. And this is Leona's mother. She passed at 54
Was that a common thing to
in
have a picture?
August,
Was it a common thing to have a picture made?
if you want it. Some people say it brings back remembrance, but I say you're gonna remember them till you ain't gonna remember them no more anyway. And you ain't gonna cry for them now till you die. Now this is my middle sister, and that's one of her sons, Freddie Lee, and her youngest son, John Henry, and one of her nephews, Oscar Joe. And this is a picture of Leona Roy.
Okay, don't shake it, just hold it still. Okay. Where is this?
This is at a nightclub. The Masons was having a program. And this Reverend Campbell and Mrs. Campbell and myself and Roy, and I forgot the other two names. And this is Roy at Santa Claus time. I heard it click then.
Oh yeah, that was me.
And this is Leona when she was 9 years old. She was taking dancing lessons, and that's one of her costumes.
That's an adorable picture.
These are enough pictures to run downtown on it. And that's the family group just sitting around talking.
Now that's all the kids at your house?
All of these, it was all the children on at somebody's birthday party.
Here, let's see the picture again for a couple seconds.
Because that's Roy's sister, my oldest sister, and little Leona when she was a baby, and one of his sister's babies, and their mothers is on this picture.
Okay, we got that one now.
And this Roy and his 3 little nieces when they was babies.
Okay.
this Roy again with them 3 little babies.
I think it's, yeah, the same picture,
Uh-huh.
almost the same.
Well, if you don't write on the back of them, you sure don't know, do you? This is Leona at her birthday party when she was about 7.
Here, tilt the picture down a little bit. Okay,
You got it now?
yeah, that's good. Okay.
Why come my head clip sometime and it don't the next time? How come my head clip sometime and the next time?
Oh, because when I move the camera, it makes a noise.
Oh. Now this is Ruby when she was 13.
Is that your sister? Or-
No, that's one of my nieces too.
Uh-huh.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
And this my nephew and his friend. And this is Leona and the 4 last children, the Wallaces.
Mm-hmm.
And this Uncle Roy and 3 of the children. This was made in September 1975. And this, 2 of my little nieces,
Graduating 8th grade.
they graduated last year in June. And this is Leona with her costume on.
Mm-hmm. Little dancer.
Yeah. And that's her out in the park. This one is sad, ain't it?
Uh-huh.
She looked like she mad on the picture.
Uh-huh.
And this is Leona's picture in 1957.
Can you point to her in the picture?
Now that's
Oh, yeah,
Leona
now I
in
see her.
1957.
Okay.
That was a Raymond school on the south side.
Did she take a bus to school, or were you living down there still?
Well, I was living in the area of the school. And this is Leona in 1958. She was going to Hind Park School.
And which is her? Can you point her out?
See my finger on?
Oh, okay. There we go. Oh, okay.
Now, did I ever? Oh yeah, I got
There's
y'all's picture, didn't I?
Yeah, you got us in there. There's a few more here, though. You and Roy, I guess.
And this is Leonia in 61.
Okay.
And this is Leona in 61.
Now, is that already here, or
That was here.
that's here already?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's Uncle Roy in 63. And that's Leonia in 63.
I think that was the last one, was it?
Yeah.